A warm good evening to you viewers of Cafdil TV. Welcome to today's edition of Religious Vocation Digest. Today is a privileged day. We have a special guest on our platform this evening, just as you know, also to share his vocation story, because he is also a religious, precisely a white father. Let's have a break here. We shall return shortly.
I am Father Charles Sawadogo, a member of the Society of the Missionaries of Africa, living in Tamale. I recommend you our society, this beautiful society made of brothers and priests. We were founded by the late Cardinal Charles Labjeri in 1868, and we are sent to the African world and to wherever our charism is needed to preach the good news. And we invite you, especially the young men who desire to join us, not to fear, to contact us, for us to help them, to train them, to help them, to prepare them to answer to that call. And those who wish to contact us, we have a line, 024 178 7879. I repeat our line, 024 178 7879. Thank you so much.
You're welcome back. I am Sister Marian, your host, and you're watching Religious Vocation Digest on Cafdil TV. We are also live on Facebook, Cafdil Cape Coast, YouTube, Cafdil EDU. Remember to share the link with friends and family, especially those aspiring the consecrated life. Just as I said, we are privileged to have in our midst this evening a religious bishop, the Bishop of Wa Diocese. I know some may be surprised because you didn't know he was a religious. He's also here today to share his vocation story, to inspire you and I, those of us who are already in the life, and those who are aspiring to be. So without much ado, I'll go straight to my Lord Bishop. Good evening and welcome to Cafdil TV.
Good evening, sister, and thank you.
It's an honor to have you.
I
know your schedules are very tight, but then you accepted our invitation, and then we have come to your home to do this discussion.
Thank you. You are most welcome to Wa, and particularly to my house.
Thank you, my Lord.
And if you allow me, I just one little correction.
Okay.
I am not a religious.
Consecrated.
Yes, I'm consecrated apostolic life.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, my Lord, before we start with our discussion, what is the difference between the religious and those who are living the apostolic life? Is there any difference?
Yes, we don't take vows. We make an oath.
Okay.
And because we don't take vows, we make oath. And we, for poverty, we talk of simple lifestyle.
Okay.
I can have my own bank account. Our students, nobody asks them about their bank account.
Okay.
And I can own property.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are, I would say, almost like Dyson Press. Many people confuse us with religious because community life is very important for us and very strict.
Okay.
And I know that is why many people think we are religious, or the white fathers are religious, but they are not. Though, for us, community life, even when we make the oath, community life is part of it. We put in the oath and promise we will live community life.
Okay. Thank you very much for the correction. So, my Lord Bishop, who is Bishop Francis? I don't want to pronounce the surname. I might get it wrong.
Yeah. And Francis, yes, I'm Francis Bomansaan.
Bomansaan.
And then I come from this diocese. I come from a little village north of Wa called Cafdil. And I was born there, went to primary school there. I come from, my father died when I was quite young. My father died in 1974.
Okay.
And we are 6, brought up by my mom. And I attended minor seminary here, St. Francis Xavier Minor Seminary, where I did my O-levels. Then after that, I went to Nandon Secondary School for my A-levels. Nandon Secondary School, that was run that time by the FIC brothers.
Okay.
And from there, I went to St. Victor's Seminary for the Missionaries of Africa. That time, the Missionaries of Africa did not have their own formation house. Okay. So we were together with the Diocese Press and the SVDs there. But then we had our own little program as Missionary of Africa candidates from time to time, not always. And after 2 years of philosophy, then I left.
Okay.
For my novitiate in Zambia.
Okay.
And then afterwards, after my novitiate, I went to Tanzania for 2 years of pastoral training. In the language of the Missionaries of Africa, we say stage. So after 2 years of stage, I was appointed to London for my theology in the Missionary Institute. So I did my theology in London. Then came back home for ordination in 91. After my ordination, I was sent back to Tanzania. I was fortunate I went back to the same diocese. It's not normal. So I considered myself blessed. And then, unfortunately, I didn't stay long in the parish, which was my passion. My passion has always been parish work. But I stayed there for only 2.5 years. And the General Council asked me to go for some studies in England, and from there to Poland to join our formation house there. So I was in Poland in the formation house and also helping with vocation animation there. So after that, after 4 years there, I went to Dublin in Ireland for a course on leadership and more on formation. So from there, and the Nigeria province asked for me for vocations work in Ghana. So I came back, did vocations work for 4 years. After that, the General Council asked for me again to London, our theology college, to be a formator there and to be the bearer. So I was there. And after a while, the society had decided slowly to close down the house in London.
Okay.
and I was appointed to go to the novitiate in Zambia, where I attended. After 3 weeks of receiving that appointment, I got a call from the Superior General again, telling me I have been appointed to be provincial for Ghana, Nigeria. So, and he told me the first appointment is nullified, so this is what is standing. So I had to come back to Ghana, and I was provincial here for Ghana, Nigeria for 2 terms, 3-3. And after I had finished with that, I asked for a sabbatical, and I wanted to do a sabbatical in something I like, and that is accompaniment in the area of psychospirituality. So I went to Chicago. I did a program there, and then combined with that human sexuality. And when I finished, the White Fire was hoping to go back to the parish. Then the General Council sent me back to the novitiate where I couldn't go. So I went to the novitiate in Zambia as a novice master for 7 years there. Then after that, I went back. I asked to go back to Chicago. I wanted to deepen something on accompany people with addictions.
Okay.
So I went back there and did something on that. Then the General Council asked me to go to help start a house in Kenya to accompany priests and religious who have challenges in their ministry in terms of addiction and coming out of it, to help them stand on their feet and get back to ministry.
Okay.
So I was there. I hardly settled down. Barely 2 years then, we had a general chapter, and I would say against my will, because I resisted to go there. And then I had to go to the general chapter in Rome. And in Rome, I got caught up there. I got caught up on the General Council as the first Superior General, or the Deputy Superior General. And then I was also settling in there. Then the Vatican or the church or whoever caught me, and I find myself here.
Wow.
So that has been my journey.
Yeah.
And to say, actually, the only time I have really ministered in an area that I really chose was my 2.5 years in the parish.
Apart from that.
Formation, I can't go into that. Formation, I know it was not my cup of tea. But later on, for me, when I saw that young people were being helped, I liked it, because accompaniment is something I liked.
Yeah.
And so I found the years in formation, more or less, I spent most of my life in formation. I found those years very useful. Those years helped me personally to grow, to deepen my own faith, and I would say to own my vocation and appreciate it. And that is the gift I received from these young people by being a formator.
Yeah.
As for administration, yes, I'm in it, but we do it because we have to do it, as I've promised obedience to the church.
Yeah.
And to put my heart there. One thing that I always remember is when I wanted to go to the seminary, being the firstborn, I was afraid my mom will object. And what she told me was, if you go, be serious. If you cannot be serious, don't go. And I always remember that. And so, even for ministries that I never wanted. And once I accepted that voice comes,
Be serious.
that I put my whole heart in it, and that's it.
Is your mom still alive?
My mom is still alive, yes. She's
This is beautiful.
87 now.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And your other siblings?
Yes, I have 2 other boys, brothers. I have 2 brothers, and then 2 sisters.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, my Lord, how did you meet the White Fathers? And what actually made you stay in the congregation? Because since your life is not so different from diocesan priest.
Yes, when we were growing up, in my village, I knew the White Fathers. As a child, they were the ones there, and some of them were friends to my mom and dad. They used to come to the house. And my house is a stone throw to the mission house.
Okay.
When we were there, we could hear them ring their bell for prayers and meals. And so I encountered them while in primary school, even though they were diocesan priests also there that I admired very much. And in the minor seminary here, our rector was a White Father, and there were others who were teaching us. But there are a lot of diocesan priests I admired. And I think what made me make the choice was just the fact of sharing my faith with other people who did not know much about Christ. And then I was a Legion of Mary member, and my mother was when I was a child. So I used to go with her for their meetings. And what attracted me was at the end of every meeting, they had this allocution. And they will go to visit people in the houses, in hospital, and then people who were not even Catholics or Christian. They went to, I was touched by that. I couldn't articulate that, but I was touched. And in Xavier studying geography, I read about tribes in Congo, like the pygmies in the forest and that. And I felt attracted to go there, to share, to talk about Christ with them, though I didn't know what that implied.
Yeah.
And so the model I had for going there was one or the other White Father I met in my life, and the proximity to the people, and I wanted that. There were also a lot of diocesan priests who were very close to the people. So if you ask me and why I went there, for me, it's that thing of sharing my faith. And there were and in this diocese there are still other areas. So when I look at that, I always say, probably it was just the Lord pushing me there. Yeah. Because there were areas in this diocese, and there are still areas in this diocese where the faith is not strong. So, and when I went, what made me to stay, for me, is that life of fraternity and community life. You know, community life, it has not always been easy from what I experienced, and yet it has helped me a lot. And I will never choose any other life if there's no community life. What I'm living here is not my choice. If I have a choice, I will not live.
Yeah.
I've even told the General Council that no, I did not choose to live alone. And so that fraternity, I have experienced a lot of fraternity among the white fathers. Personally, I've received that. And I've felt supported throughout. So if you ask me why I stayed, that's it.
So now that you don't live in community, or you are not in or affiliated to any community of the white fathers?
No, I am.
You are?
Yes, there's the community in Wahi, I'm affiliated to them.
But you are not part of them?
Yes, from time to time I go there, and from other times I invite them here. But daily, no. Yes.
This is your community?
This is my one-man community.
So are you still a white father?
In a way, yes. They have not chased me away. And I'm still counted as a white father, but canonically or under church rules, I'm not under the authority of the province.
Yeah. Do you really miss your conference?
Very much.
And how does that make you feel?
And sometimes sad, because I'm not going to go in too much into that. One of the things that made me resist from Rome in the Vatican to accept to be bishop was the fact that I knew I was going to miss my community. And I cried for that. And I really, to be honest, I loved my vocation as a missionary of Africa. And I got a lot of fulfillment from the life I live and the ministry I exercise. And if you ask me if I were to die today and come back, I think I would still choose that. Yeah.
You spent 2 years for your study.
Yes.
How flexible or challenging was it?
It was very challenging, very, very challenging, but very fulfilling. Actually, I nearly ran away from the seminary, but when I went back to the experience I had in the parish, it always strengthened me to stay back. Okay. The first challenge was to learn Swahili. And the first 2 months, I was impatient with myself. I wanted to be able to give a homily within 2 months. And after 2 months, when I was making mistakes, I went and told the director, I'm going back home. I knew I was not realistic with myself. And he calmed me down. And I know I worked a lot on it. And that one I always say with pride. Well, after 3 months, I could speak grammatically perfect Swahili. And then in the parish, I met confreres who were seasoned missionaries, and they were quite tough, but not callous. They just wanted to help me.
Yeah.
And I spent, for the 2 years, I spent most of my life in the village. I would sleep in the village for 1 week, and then come back home, change, and go again. And I learned a lot from that. Okay. And I was treated, even though I was a student, I was a seminarian, I was treated as a member, full member of the community.
Yeah.
Such that what surprised me was there were 3 confreres, and if you were not going outside to the outstation, we took turns in the parish. And there were times they planned me to be in charge of the main station the whole week. I will do the word, the service of the word. They went to the villages and I was in charge. Even on the Sunday, they will go away and I'm for the Sunday service in the church. And I'm in support. I was also planned to sit in the parish office to... And there were times, we clashed. And then reconcile and continue.
Yeah. That is the beauty of community life.
Yes. And one thing I told myself from the very beginning as a seminarian is, I said, I am not begging to be a priest or a missionary of Africa. And so I'm not going to put down my head. I am generally a shy person, but if you get on my nerves, I will tell you my mind. I will not. So there were times I just told my confreres that, look, I'm not begging to be a white father. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I go home. And I still treasure that.
Okay. Bishop Francis Bomansaan is a shy person, but if you get on his nerves, he will speak his mind. We take a hold here. We'll be shortly back.
I am Father Charles Sawadogo, a member of the Society of the Missionaries of Africa, living in Tamale. I recommend you our society, this beautiful society made of brothers and priests. We were founded by the late Cardinal Charles Lovejoy in 1868, and we are sent to the African world and to wherever our charism is needed to preach the good news. And we invite you, especially the young men who desire to join us, not to fear, to contact us, for us to help them, to train them, to help them, to prepare them to answer to that call. And those who wish to contact us, we have a line, 024 178 7879. I repeat our line, 024 178 7879. Thank you so much.
Hello viewers, welcome back from that short break. We are today privileged to have in our midst the Bishop of Wa Diocese, Most Reverend Francis Bomansaan. He has already started sharing his vocation story or journey with us. So we continue from where we left. My Lord, you served as parish priest in Tanzania.
No, I was not parish priest. I was a curate.
Okay.
Yeah.
A provincial superior.
Yeah.
Vocations animator.
Mm-hmm.
A formator.
And a bezer.
And a bezer.
And then novice master.
Do you see these as ways God was using to prepare you for your current position?
Yeah, probably when I look at it now, I see the different experiences I made at the different times to say, yes, those experiences are helping me.
Okay.
And actually, in each of the different ministries I was involved in, the previous experiences helped me. And so presently, all those experiences are also helping me.
Yeah.
And a little digression, one thing I have learned and appreciate of the white fathers from formation till now is we have been formed to be able to express yourself.
Okay.
And that is one thing I told you that even as a student, I spoke my mind. That is the beauty I liked about the formation we got.
Yeah.
You could tell your rector, I don't agree, get lost. And you know that. You know, so all these kind of experiences for me have helped me a lot. And in the present ministry, that if you disagree with me, does not mean that you hate me.
Exactly.
For me, that is, and in my position at the moment, to be able to listen to each praise or other people, their opinion. That I did not get it just by myself. It's from all these experiences.
Yeah.
That being the provincial or the bishop, for me, does not mean that others will always go along with my opinion. And that does not mean they hate me.
Yeah. So how has been your experience as a young bishop?
I'm still swimming in the sea. You know, I'm still at that stage of listening and opening my eyes to my elder brothers who are bishops. There are a lot of questions I ask and I listen. And the priests and religious here in the diocese, I'm still going around the different parishes, different communities. I am listening and I'm learning.
How rich is priestly and consecrated life vocation in your diocese?
And I would say to some extent it's quite rich because we have a number of religious groups here and then blended with the diocesan priests. And a good number of active lay associations. So for me, all that blend to bring the riches in the diocese.
Okay. And how supportive are the lay faithful?
Yeah, I must say a good number. Most of them deep down would like to support, and they do support. It's just that for most of them, even economically, they are deprived. But with the little they have, they share. I've gone around a number of parishes, and sometimes, from the very beginning till now, I feel quite humble with the gesture and the generosity of people. And I do believe if they had more, they will give more. And people are generous with what they have, and that I appreciate very much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In your experience as a missionary or a consecrated person, at what point do you think one would leave his or her religious vocation?
At what point?
Can one resign, so to say?
I have actually accompanied people who left. Okay. I think when the religious is no longer finding meaning in in this life. And he or she remains open for accompaniment, has been accompanied, there's discernment, and he or she sees that, no, there's no longer meaning for me. And that God is redirecting him or her to a different way of life.
Now, when you speak to some formators, it has been realized that the trend of formatees we have today is different from yesterday. And in as much as formators are trying to shape them according to the congregation's constitution, they also have their own trends. They've been formed, the Gen Zs. What advice would you give to both parties?
You see, the question to ask is, what kind of religious, each congregation has to ask, let's say the White Fathers, what kind of missionary of Africa do you want when you start recruiting? And you become open to the young people what you are looking for. Yeah. Just before I left Rome, I was put in charge to start a program for our formators, just around the same question, and to come out of a program how the formators can really help instill our charism on the formees. And that's one of the things. Are we presenting ourselves as priests or as missionaries? And I've always believed that as a vocation director, as a missionary of Africa, I don't present myself as a priest. My first vocation is a missionary. And being a brother or a priest, then you see in which way God wants me to minister. Yeah. And secondly, we have to realize that the formees at the moment, they are coming from a different culture. And most at times, we the formators, we may have a problem. Like you say, we want to shape them. We take it for granted that we are coming from the same culture. We are not. These young people are coming from a culture of a lot of noise. At my time, we didn't have mobile phones. So now I'm expecting a formee of today to be like I was when I was in the novitiate. There's a clash there. There's cultural clash. And that is where I always say, as a formator, the biggest job has to do with me as a formator, my own conversion. Am I open to reflect, to see the way I'm accompanying the guy? Am I rather blocking him or her in growth, or I'm allowing growth? And one of the first things is for us these days, is to acknowledge that they are coming from a different culture. The society, the congregation has its own culture, but that is why the novitiate is there to groom them in. But first of all, to acknowledge that these guys I'm forming, they are coming from a culture different from the culture I have grown in. And that entails a lot of humility from the part of the formator. It is not giving in to them, no. But we can only accompany them when we take them from where they are. That's why formation is very incarnational. You have to go down to where they are in order to lift them up. If we don't look at it that way, it is very difficult to help them. Because for me, the fear they have is being able to lead themselves, confront themselves. And that's why they don't like silence. But it is part of our job as formators to help them to be able to see themselves as they are, meet themselves as they are. And that's where the challenge is. When I was in charge of the novitiate, there were 2 days a week was pure silence. At the beginning it was difficult for them. And no phone, and they struggled. At the end of the novitiate, they appreciated that. And they longed for it. The society at one point were always saying, the novice masters, we should take the phones from them. I know the French novitiates did that. I refused. And I told the General Council, if I have to take the phones, I'm nearer to resign. Because for me, from my conviction, it's not formation. Because how much is a phone? He can give me one phone and keep another one. He has appeased his conscience. It's to help them to know why they don't have to use the phone. And constantly they are reflecting. If they are cheating in using the phone, you help them reflect on that. What is the life they are building for the future? Yeah. And that is because some of them came to me and said, oh, but in our room we will have the temptation. And my response was, the novitiate is only 10 months. When you are ordained, are you going to hand over your temptation to the provincial? No. So you have to learn now to live, how to handle your temptation. You are not going to hand over your temptation to anybody. So anyway, let's leave it like this.
But my Lord, you know, there are still some congregations that do not allow phones in their formation houses. But just as you said, the formatees or formees, they know how to maneuver.
Yes. You cannot.
So is it not proper that they rather allow them, but then help them to be responsible with the phones?
That is my vision. But I also know that my vision is not the best in the world. Other people may have other ways of looking at it.
Yeah.
And my knowledge is not absolute. And my experience, I'm not the only one who has made experience. I speak from my perspective as a missionary of Africa.
Okay.
If the FIC or others do that, I don't condemn them. It's
okay. The missionaries of Africa are celebrating the 200th birthday of their founder, Labjeri. You might have read about him. What can you say about this man?
He was a man of passion, if I will put it that way, and I fell in love with him till today. He has inspired me a lot. He had passion for whatever he had to do, and he demanded that of his members. And one thing he wanted all of us, and we still have it, is that to have as missionaries is be all things to all people. He says, you are with the Muslims, identify with. Be near to them. whichever group you are with, identify with them. Such that, and that is why he insisted that there are two things he insisted very much, and he could sack you. He said it's an international, intercultural society, and he used to say if he sees two French men walking together 3 times, he said, you don't have the vocation to be in this congregation, go. And learning languages and culture, he said, you go to Africa, you have to. And for me, these are some of the, if you want, the legacies he has left for us. His passion for humanity, his passion for Christ, and which he tried to share with us until today. That is it.
Okay. So what message do you have for your conference?
For my conference, I will say each one of us daily is to strive to be passionate, zealous in our ministry apostolate, and to be near to the people. That is why we have left home.
Yeah. Thank you, my Lord. Finally, your parting words.
My parting words will be that since you are religious, and this whole thing is to help young people, I think the young people are looking on to us to see what is the passion we have. The passion we have about our vocation and the ministry, the different ministries we are involved in. I think for me that is the challenge, that as consecrated people and religious, that is the challenge before us, to continue to find ways of remaining passionate and zealous about the way of life we have chosen. And when I say that, I always like a few days ago I said, I borrowed the words of Mother Teresa. Me, I always say our life is not about eloquence or being perfect. It's being charitable and committed. I think that is what, if we want to influence the young people, they are looking at that.
Thank you, my Lord. Just as you know, we came from Cape Coast, from the Cardinals Foundation for Distance Learning by Cardinal Texan. It's an educational foundation. We also have the TV station. And as part of our evangelization ministry, we do what we call the Religious Vocation Digest. And also we, even as we move out of Cape Coast for the same purpose, we try to let people know about us. So we brought something small. It's actually a souvenir from Cafdil, so that when you hang it or anytime you make use of them, you say a prayer for us also. So this is something small from Cafdil TV. Yes.
Thank you very much. I'm very grateful. Yes. And my sincere gratitude to Cafdil TV, but more specifically to you and your crew here. I'm very grateful to you for this time we have spent together. I'm always passionate to talk about my vocation, particularly my missionary life out there. Yeah. So thank you.
Words cannot express our gratitude to you for accepting to do this for us. You are actually the first bishop to appear or to come on this platform to talk about vocation and formation at large, and also sharing your vocation journey with us. I believe that many people have been inspired by what you have shared, where at certain points in formation you actually wanted to leave, but then from what your mother said, you stayed, and today this is how far God has brought you. And I'm glad that your mother is still alive to see you today, that you never disappointed the family. May God continue to bless you and strengthen you in your new apostolate.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So viewers, we come to the conclusion of our discussion or conversation with the Bishop of Wa Diocese, Most Reverend Francis Bomansaan. Yeah. So let's do this once again next week. Until then, good evening.